Hey everybody, Dr. Nelson here. This is a video about something called rate of change. Okay, so this is going to introduce you to kind of a major concept that we're learning about in math this year. So what exactly is a rate of change? All right. Well, take a look at this little diagram here. Here we have the growth of a baby. All right. So the x-axis shows the length of the growing period, right? So 4 months, 8 months, 12 months, and 16 months. And the y-axis shows the baby's length in inches, okay? And obviously it's increasing. So what is rate of change? So rate of change, let's write down the definition. It describes how one quantity changes in relation to another. So it describes how one quantity changes in relation to another. All right, so for this diagram, our quantities are the end of growth period, okay, and then the baby's length in inches. All right, so we want to know, how does this compare to this, okay, or how does this one change to this one? All right, so what you got to do is you got to find 2 points on the graph, okay, to figure out the change. All right, so if you notice, from this point to this point, okay, it's 4 months, right? Because when you go from 4 to 8, it's 4 months. And then what you do is you also look at how much it rises from this point to this point. So this baby grew from 21 inches to 22 inches, which is 1 inch, okay? So the rate of change for the baby is, okay, the baby grew in 4 months, 1 inch. All right. So if you turn the page, let's take a look at another example. In fact, there's 3 examples. All right. So rate of change can be determined by looking at tables, graphs, and also equations. All right. So this time, the quantities is hours and amount earned. Okay. So that's one quantity, and that's the other quantity. Okay. So if you look at this one, let's take a look at from this point to this point. All right, so the amount of change from 2 to 4 is 2, and the amount of change and amount earned is from 10 to 20 is 10, right? So that means over 2 hours, that person earned $10, which means rate of change is for every 1 hour, they make $5. Okay, so again, when I do 10 divided by 2, that's how I get the 5. All right, let's look at this graph. Okay, here we have time, okay, as well as distance. So again, we need to find 2 different points. Okay, so here's a point right here and a point right here. Okay, and the amount of change from here to here going this way is 10. And the amount of change going up, well, we're going from 200 to 400. So that's going to reduce down to 40 to 1. So the rate of change is for every 1 second, okay, it's 40, I believe it's meters. All right. And last but not least, you can find the rate of change in equations. We'll get into this later on, okay? But this function, okay, the number next to the x gives you the rate of change. Okay, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. All right. So now that you understand a little bit more about rate of change, why don't you pause the video and try the your turn problems now. And when you're done, hit play and see how you did. All right, good luck. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did with these rate of change problems, okay? So here we have a table, and this column is years in the job, and this one is the salary, okay? And notice that as I go from the first year to the second year, that's a change of +1. And then from 5,000 to 10,000, that's a change of +5,000. So the rate of change would be, for every 1 year, it's $5,000. All right, and let's try this last one about Bruno Mars. Okay, so here we have the number of years on tour, okay, and then the average ticket price. All right, if you notice, it's definitely an upward trend, especially as he became more and more popular. So for every 1 year on tour, it looks like the average ticket price is increasing by $15. All right, so for every 1 year, the price is increasing by $15, and that's the rate of change. All right, how'd you do?